Welcome back, everyone. I'm JTXRP, and I cover different projects on the XRP ledger, as well as XRP itself. Today, we're going to have a new project with us. Interview today, we have Keith from XLinden who's going to be joining us. This project is a token that's unlike other tokens in the way that it's a Metaverse token, but it's for a Metaverse that already exists, and in fact has existed for a very long time. But I won't be the one to tell you about it. I'm going to let Keith tell you about it here in a second. But before we get started, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, there are ways in the description to do so. So make sure to check those out. Without further ado, let's get started here and let's talk to Keith. Keith, how you doing today?
Excellent as always. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing good, Keith. Well, I was very interested in your project. A lot of places are going after the metaverse. A lot of projects, should I say. And so yours is already going after a pre-existing metaverse. And so I found that pretty awesome. And of course, you're doing it with the power of the XRP and the XRP ledger. Tell us about the project. Tell us about yourself, whichever order you feel most comfortable in.
Okay, I mean, let's go with the project first, right? So XLinden is the name of the project, and it actually started while I was hosting a Twitter space for another project, and a friend of mine was a actually I'll go back even a little bit further, right? So my partner and I purchased land in another metaverse, and it turned out to not be so great,
Oh,
right?
gotcha.
And what that did was we had been like kind of getting strung along for some time, and I'm looking at it like the clock is ticking. We have to deliver on the promises we're making to our community,
Mm-hmm.
like, or else. So the a meeting that we had didn't go so well. They didn't provide the answers that we wanted. So I sought an alternative, right? And in that Twitter space, or in another Twitter space, a friend of mine said, "Why isn't Linden Labs involved in Web3? Like, what is stopping them? What's keeping them from being here and participating?" And I said,
Mm-hmm.
"That's a great question." And so I went and I explored Second Life, and I was just looking, and I went on YouTube. I was trying to find videos that were talking about it, even tutorials, like the
Mm-hmm.
most simple stuff, like teach me how to change my avatar, my clothes, or weapons, or whatever. There's some complicated stuff in this game.
Yep.
But it was, when I saw it, I was like, this is the best thing going. And one of the most beautiful things is that, like, when you're an avatar, right, in Second Life, you
Mm-hmm.
can be Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. And you don't just look like Sub-Zero, you can actually shoot ice balls out and freeze other avatars and freeze objects. If you're a dragon that breathes fire, you can breathe fire. You can fly around right now. You can be a cybernetic ninja assassin right now. And you can earn money right now in the game, and the game is free to play. So I saw it as
I'm going to go ahead and share
oh,
my
go ahead.
screen while you're talking because I want people to be able to see what we're talking about because some people may not be familiar with Second Life. And I just want to be able to share real quick. All right, go ahead. Oops, this is the project, by the
Yeah,
way.
this is the
Well,
website.
yeah, but we will go to here, which is what you're talking about, the already existing metaverse that no one seems to talk about too much.
Right. And people are definitely talking about it now. Right.
All right.
So we created the XLinden project specifically to bridge the Web3 community and Second Life, because we wanted to not only guarantee that we can deliver on the promises that we made to our community, but that other NFT projects can do it. Because I could see people like drowning themselves like in this, like, oh, just a few more months and then we'll know this or we'll know that, and
Yeah.
honestly, every single one of these communities deserves better than that. And so we're here to deliver right away. Like, our land is being developed as we speak. You can jump in and play Second Life for free without you don't have to set up a wallet, you don't have to do anything.
And so your land is being developed in Second Life right now.
Yes. So we have a multi-story club, a nightclub that's also has an underground section with a bar already. We have a number of luxury vehicles. We have roads paved. We have 4 luxury homes on the sim, and there's some other stuff that I haven't seen yet. I haven't been on there in a couple of days. I'm not the one that's actually building it.
Gotcha.
Right, but it is looking fantastic. Our our designer Alvaro is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm really looking forward to hosting events in this space for the Web3 community, specifically the XRPL community.
Gotcha.
Right? And just having, just imagine having, let's say you're in the LXA community, right? You can drive your Lambo around in our land right now. Well, you can't right now, right? Using their land because they haven't minted their NFTs yet. Let me just say that, right?
Yeah.
But as an example, like a hypothetical, or let's say you're a Bored Ape, right? You can stand there in the land right now with an avatar that reflects your Bored Ape, your NFT. And when you speak on the microphone, right, your avatar's mouth moves in sync.
But you don't have those Bored Apes in NFT form, in 3D objects in the game right now, though. You're saying you could, though, right?
No, I'm saying
yes, okay, cool. I'm just making sure. I'm not gonna making sure nobody's getting the wrong expectation.
Right, yeah. I wanted to be clear about that too. That's hypothetical, right?
Okay. But the development though of this metaverse has been going on for years though. I forget like the exact date. It was like
it's about 20 years old.
Yeah. So anyways, it's been going on for quite a while, and not X, but Meta can create its own metaverse all at once. Like this thing's already been going, and you're trying to bring Web3 to this. And I was reading some of the articles you were sending over about Web3 and the creator's perspective. And the creator, I forget his name,
Philip Rosedale.
Philip Rosedale went away and is now coming back as an advisor, essentially. And while I was reading some of these articles, and I'll link them down in the description below for anyone who's interested, but he was talking about how essentially like Web3 doesn't seem to mean as much until there's the reason why they want to do what they want to do in the metaverse anyways. And
exactly. Yes.
And so on top of that, he referred to like we already have a database. We've essentially been doing the whole NFT thing. It just didn't involve blockchains until, possibly now. But how your vision of this project seems to counter what he is saying in some of these articles. And so is he partnering with you? Have you talked to him about doing this Web3? And what does he think about XRP? Like so many questions come to mind about like how this is going down. So
we actually created this project like right before, the timing is so serendipitous, like right before there was any announcements of Philip Rosedale being involved with Web3 at all. Like we literally created the project a month before.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and so we had not spoken with him or the Linden Labs team in any way. We're not affiliated with them. We just built this project to draw attention to it, to literally bridge that gap. And then that's also a reason why we put that this is a satirical website and project on our website, because it's an experiment. We're not affiliated with actual Linden Labs. We're just building something that we have a goal. We want to accomplish bridging these two things. We want to bring these two things together. But the only way for us to do that is to act, and that's to figure it out. So here we are. And the XLinden experiment is actually the first implementation of a microeconomic model that I developed, which very briefly is just like 5 working parts that are all centered around an individual purpose, right? It's the token, the TCR, DAO, NFT, and a POAP, all centered around a purpose. Like you were speaking with Becky about Ocean Assist, that was the second implementation of that model and the most successful.
Okay. So does that mean that you've been, the implication there is that project has been somehow less successful by you saying that. But what do you mean by that? And can you elaborate, or have you not had this success that you're wanting yet? Like,
It's
what
not
do you
that
mean by
it's
that?
what I mean by that is just that we've seen higher engagement, which makes sense. I mean, the ocean is a universally unifying purpose. There's
True.
no like group of people that are like, nah, we don't mess with the ocean, like, or they're already saving the ocean on Ethereum. Why are you talking about it here? You know, that's just what I meant. I didn't mean that like the project is done or anything. Like,
No, I
we're
got
still
you.
working on it. It's still in development.
Okay. Well, so I guess tell us more about that then. The how all that works together within Second Life. And yeah, can you just describe more? Because Becky kind of gave me a breakdown of like Ocean and how each kind of affected each other. How do you imagine that within Second Life? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so with Second Life, we just want a place where people can, a place specifically for the XRP community to kind of experience what they may be barred from financially or technologically, right? You don't need the greatest computer in the world to use Second Life, right? To play the game.
That's true.
You don't need an Oculus set or anything like that, which can be prohibitively expensive, you know,
and clunky to use. But yeah,
and you know, but yeah. So what we're looking to do, right, is, or what we have done so far is, while building the land, establishing the infrastructure, the actual place where people will interact, right? We created a token, the XLinden token, which we distributed to the XRPL community, which they assign like their own intrinsic value to, right?
Gotcha.
And so what that does is that gets eyes on the project. And from there, that's when we refine like the stream of information. We kind of weed out the people that are there just to trade the token versus the people that are here to engage in Second Life. And we've done that pretty successfully with we haven't done the XLinden airdrop, but with the Ocean airdrop, we gave like a very small amount, and then
there's some upset people about that. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, people not understanding what it's for, you know, once I understood a lot more, that made a lot more sense. Is XLinden going to be the same, or?
Right, we're still determining that. We're still working on it.
Okay.
Right? We did receive, like you said, that kind of reaction from that airdrop, but it was intentional, and the community voted on it. Like, everything that we're doing is going to be community based. Like, they're telling us what they want. We're not going to be the head or control of any of these projects after some time. We're just here to nurture them until they're self-sustaining.
Gotcha. So, I mean, a lot of people are looking at, I know that Ocean in itself was an experiment, a really cool experiment, by the way. And I'm so proud that it's on the XRPL, and it's cool to talk to you that you were a part of it. And I co-founder. I was gonna say, I don't know what Becky did, what you did, but I know that like you were in it together is kind of all I know. But yeah, but I'm trying to understand. This is an experiment. You've got the token, you have the DAO, you have what are the other two things you mentioned? I'm going blank on what the other one was.
TCR, NFT, and the POAP.
The POAP. And explain for people who haven't seen Ocean what a POAP is again, real quick.
Okay, so a POAP is a proof of attendance protocol. So just think of it like if you went to the last Rolling Stones concert, right? And you have this NFT that basically shows you were there at that concert. It's pretty cut and dry. The more complicated part is actually the TCR, and it's really from like 2018 or so, but kind of got overshadowed by like the NFT boom, you know, and even like, you know, price action right? For crypto coins, right? Or crypto assets.
Well, what's the
the,
TCR?
the TCR is a token curated registry.
That's
And
right.
so you can kind of think of it like Yelp, except you have an economic incentive to provide accurate data to the community. So if you're Yelp, like let's say I'm Red Lobster, right? I can write a check to Yelp and say, hey, Red Lobster is at least top 10 in this city or area, right? With the TCR, you can't do that, right? You use the token, right? And you put up a deposit and say, all right, I'm saying that Red Lobster is one of the top 10 restaurants. If the community doesn't agree, if they vote against Red Lobster, then I lose my deposit and it gets split between the entity itself and those that voted against me. And conversely, the opposite.
Okay. Well, that just seems like if you're not winning a popularity contest, you get double hit. But, it seems kind of like it is what it is, which where I think that, I study a little bit of organizational design. I have a background in being a scrum master. So I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I do have some expertise in, how organizations and people work. And so I do have some concerns when I hear those kinds of things, but like, I understand it's an experiment. I'm really interested, like I said, to see where those kinds of things go, because I could foresee a lot of issues. I hope, of course, being a part of the XRP community, I hope there's none and it's just all happy, happiness, rainbows, and unicorns. But, I hope, uh, hope good things for the project for sure.
Yeah.
How,
And we're anticipating those things. We're anticipating those problems. We want to see them
okay.
because every time we run into an obstacle, it's going to provide us with more data. We're pioneers, we're innovators. We're on the front lines. So we're going to encounter these problems and be the first to develop solutions so that the people that come after us aren't going to have to deal with that.
Exactly. Well, people who are watching this are probably interested in the investment side of this, and of course, everyone is trying to create their own metaverse video game. And like you said, people can jump into this already and they can go play in the metaverse while you're getting ready to bring Web3 to it. They can go create their own account right now. So, what is the incentive for two sides of this? What is the incentive for an XLinden holder to get into Second Life now? And then what is the incentive for a Second Life person to get involved with XLinden?
So how we're bridging that gap is actually this is still all in development, right?
Okay.
We're looking to actually host events in our sim so that people can get a chance to experience it, and then we're still working out how we're going to use the token in that, because like I said, it's an experiment. We're still trying to figure it out.
Gotcha.
It's going
How
to be
old
a
is the project, by the way?
The project is actually like a month old,
Oh,
like
okay.
2 months old. Like, yeah.
Every time I talk to somebody, it's like I'm expecting them to have been around in like early 2020 or something like that. And it's just not the case. And so, these are always growing. And so it's cool to see that so many new projects are hopping on the XRPL. And a little bit about you. You mentioned that we've heard a little bit about the project, and I'll ask a little bit more later, but I want to understand you. You said, I'm trying to understand your role in Becky token and in Ocean and in your current project. So you're obviously the creator of this project as well as Ocean, correct? Or co-creator of Ocean? Can you
Yeah,
elaborate more?
co-creator.
Okay.
Yeah, these are all collaborative efforts, right? Of course. And I am actually I'm a digital marketer, but I I like to tinker. I like to learn, and like I just dove right into Web3, and I'm here to build. I'm here to crash around and learn.
Gotcha. That's cool.
We, we've done quite a bit actually. We've released multiple NFT projects across multiple blockchains. Like we've created tokens. We've done a lot here, and we're here to stay. Like it's
Well, do you
it's
want to?
really fun. It's what I like to, well, not what I like to call, but there's a word for it. It's called ikigai.
Yep.
Right. It's the It's a Japanese word for reason for being. And so it's a convergence of something that you're good at, something that you love to do, something that the world needs, and something that you can be rewarded for. And Web3 is my ikigai. I'm here to be involved and to share my knowledge with people and help people and build this out in the future.
Gotcha. No, that's awesome. Trying to understand though, I guess what I was trying to ask is, are you like the developer of these tokens, or
No,
like
I'm
what is
not a
your technical
developer.
background? I was just trying to like, you're the idea guy. Like, I'm just trying to understand because
I'm a visionary.
okay,
Yeah, I'm a
other people
visionary,
I'm talking
but
to are
I'm
like
not a
they have title of like
developer.
CEO, or I'm just like, okay, well, what is the things that you do? And I see that you're getting into, you're diving into all these things and helping to create them. So I was trying to understand like the background. But yeah, you're a digital marketer. That's awesome. And
Yeah,
now you're a creator of a token. So
yeah.
um well, let's get back to Second Life here real quick. When do you expect to see or do you guys have a roadmap yet for your project in terms of where you see you accomplishing getting in and bringing Web3 into Second Life, or do you have an idea of how soon that might be? Or I don't know, you may not want to give exact dates. I'm not trying to pressure that. I'm just trying to get an understanding of where you think the project's going. So
So with the land being developed and us actually like allowing people to come in and kind of experience it before we start hosting events and everything,
mhm.
that's when we're gonna get a better idea, because we have a very rough rough roadmap, right? And like I said, we want it to be very community based. So we don't want to just make a bunch of stuff and then shove it down the community's throat and be like, here, buy this, use this, do this, right? We want to
Mhm.
find out what is actually needed. We want to find out what's actually being desired in the space. Like how Henry Ford said, if he just asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses.
Yeah,
But we really want to like dive deep into like not just what people are saying, but the insight that they're providing by saying it, and then take that into careful consideration before making the next move.
I gotcha. Well, yeah, we're, of course, I'm very interested to see what Web3 can do to help with that like the database isn't already doing to a degree, or how, if people want to take their Second Life stuff and move it across to, another metaverse. I think the intersectionality and the interoperability of metaverses is going to be really interesting as well if that ever happens. So just the fact that you're jumping ahead of that curve is going to be pretty amazing, because we're already seeing, the metaverse is just now being talked about, even though of course, the we're talking about how Second Life's been around for like 20 something years, but everyone is just now putting this huge focus on the metaverse, just as they put a huge focus on blockchain, a few years ago. So, and we're just now seeing cross chains, second layers and all this kind of stuff right now that can, at least as far as I'm aware, that can bring all these things together. So I'm very interested to see how what you will do in the future will grow into even the larger picture as communities start to merge. But hopefully everyone will just jump on the XRP ledger. So I'm kind of biased, I'm not gonna lie, and I know it. It's okay. But
That's totally fine. And you know what? I'm really excited to see something like, for instance, we host town halls, right?
mhm.
Using Twitter Spaces. I just have this vision that it would be so amazing to host town halls with your community, like their avatars all in a group, all on one sim. And it's like, you turn on your microphone and whoever's in earshot of your avatar can hear you speaking. It's like you're all there. It's I'm focusing more on like just me and myself. I'm focusing more on the experience,
Mhm.
right? It's like the difference uh, between an amusement park and a theme park. I'm looking for immersion. I'm looking for people to feel like they are a bored ape, not just like, oh, this is my avatar and here's some stuff. And like one of the most beautiful things about Second Life is all that user generated content is there.
Mm-hmm.
It's already there. I literally bought the skins for the Takunin. The Takunin are the cybernetic ninja assassins from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, yeah, that went
Yeah.
over my head for a second, but
Yeah.
I'm more of an FPS person than a world of fighter games. But I
Nice.
hear you.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool. No, actually, I did some experiments in Second Life in college, trying to. I went for video games, and so they had us go into it. I didn't think very much of it at the time. I should have done more with it in hindsight. But let's draw us back here to the token real quick. Again, other people are looking into how they can, as this possibly as an investment opportunity. I'm guessing, when people are looking at the project, or is that not how you want them to look at the project? Let me just ask.
No, it really isn't. It's not meant to be that. It's really just meant, like I said, to bridge Web3 and Second Life. I just want to bring these two communities together.
I got you, and I hear that, but would that not be monetary? Like, there's millions and millions of dollars that are already happening on Second Life right now, correct?
Mhm.
Like, I forget the exact amount. There in the article, it mentioned the amount that was already doing, per year or whatever. There's so many transactions because people are buying and selling these 3D objects that are user created to each other inside this pre-existing metaverse. So if you were able to monetize that, and they could bring that value off of the game easier. I mean, I say easier, they're already doing it with credit cards and different stuff, but in a different way,
Right.
and that value could, let's say, go to exchanges, for whatever opportunities may lie there, or whatever opportunities that aren't here right now that could exist in the future. Like, that would be arguably valuable. In if things were to take off and, go the perfect direction, I guess. But you're telling me that you're seeing this as an experiment and not necessarily an investment opportunity, correct?
Right. And
Okay.
so let me explain it. I do see the value in that. I do see that being a possibility in the future, but it's not my wheelhouse. So if the project evolves into that direction, we'll hire the appropriate professionals to manage that aspect or that facet of it. In the
Okay.
meantime, it's an experiment. We're tinkering and we're learning.
Well, as you figure out how to accomplish these things, do you see yourself approaching the creators of Second Life to be able to uh, to cooperate, or are they
Absolutely. We're
okay?
definitely open to conversation. 100%.
So if they saw this and they were like, "Hey, we need to contact these people. They're already doing it," like, they should probably do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
So okay, so if you're listening, Second Life people, get the word out. Um, all right, cool. And so you said you've already distributed an airdrop to people for XLinden, or is that not happened
We
yet?
haven't done an airdrop. We've just given away tokens.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
through
people,
like retweet giveaways.
cool. And maybe I can participate in one later. We'll see. But there's the how would people, if they were interested in acquiring the token, how would you tell them to go about getting it, or just say tweet me and I'll give you some? How does it work?
Um, well, you could absolutely just tweet me and I'll just give you some.
Okay.
it's that's definitely an option. But yeah, for one, do your own research. 100%, no financial advice or anything coming from us. But you can go to your Zum wallet and set a trust line, or you can set a trust line and then go to your Zum wallet, right?
Yeah,
Or vice versa, whatever,
I
right?
know what you mean.
And then you can use your Dex
Yep. Or the solo decks just to connect
or
there. And
so that's right,
yeah,
Sologenic.
cool. All right. So they can get it there. There's not been an airdrop yet. And of course the project's only a couple month or so old, so to be expected. So we'll see where it goes from there. Really interested in to seeing where things are going. If people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to do it?
At XLinden token on
On
our
Twitter?
Twitter page. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I know that Becky and some other people I've contacted, they get so many different people messaging them all the time. So I'm just not sure like if that's always the best way or not. But if you say so, we'll send them there. What else am I missing? Is there anything else you want to tell the community or anything else you want to emphasize before we wrap up?
No, I mean, except for like what I said earlier about ikigai. I think that's a real core element of what we were talking about here. Like finding out what's right for you as an individual, and these tools, these opportunities that we have here, not only with Web3 and Second Life, but in life in general, like they're immeasurable. So
Mhm.
just like to remind everybody to like capture this moment.
Well,
You're
that's good.
already this far.
That's true. We'll definitely appreciate you coming on, Keith, and definitely, come back if when the project progresses or takes a turn you want to get out to the community. I'm always happy to have you and appreciate you coming out.
Fantastic. Have a
Awesome.
wonderful night. I appreciate you so much.
You too. Again, none of this is financial advice. Appreciate all of you sticking around. I'm JTXRP. This is Keith, and we're out.